What time is it? Oh yeah, it's time for What Survived the Downsize. Welcome to J-ROYL, the best smelling channel on YouTube. I smell good. And so can you. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel. It's super easy. One button. Unless you already pressed it, then just, you're good, leave it. I focus on videos about perfume and cologne, my interpretations of them, my suggestions for you guys. A downsize is a shrinkage. It is a reduction. It's like when you render down a nice sauce and it becomes a thicker sauce. And it's tastier and it's more gratifying. That's like my collection of fragrances. I used to have a lot. I still have a lot, but I have a lot less. I have slowly been chipping away and whittling down my collection to the ones that I am really into. The ones that I'm more likely to wear. I'm becoming less of a fragrance collector and more of a fragrance user, or a loser. So today is about the Dior Homme line. I used to have every single Dior Homme fragrance. Basically, it does get a bit complicated with Dior Homme because there are reformulations that are widely advertised. Dior went out and said, hey, we changed up the formulation here. We got a new parfumé for this one. So in total, I had 8 different Dior Homme fragrances in my possession. Which 4 Dior Homme fragrances did I end up keeping? Which ones survived the downsize? Place your bets down below. And if you can include the formulation, that's like mega bonus points. But so the first Dior Homme fragrance that survived the great downsize of 2020/2019 is Dior Homme Parfum. Now this is an interesting one because I don't wear this too often just because of how strong it is. But I think overall, composition wise, it is my favorite. It smells so, it's so me. It's so strong, so tough, but it's also a bit delicate too. Has some sensitivity to it. It smells like nothing else that I've smelled. And I think that's a huge bonus. There's also the exclusivity factor with Dior Homme Parfum because it's not too easy to find. Usually you'd more likely see Dior Homme Intense, but even that one is a bit tricky to find. So I'm gonna hold on to this one forever. Hasn't been downsized, so lucky you, buddy. The next Dior Homme fragrance that survived the downsize is on the fresher side of things, and it's Dior Homme Sport 2012 edition. I think. Just to be clear, this is a tester bottle. It wasn't made in 2012, but the formulation is from 2012. It's the second of 3 major changes to Dior Homme Sport. It's the last one that has a bit of iris to it, which is kind of the signature note in the Dior Homme line. It's a floral, slightly metrosexual touch that makes it different. I think they nailed this fragrance. The balance between the mainly fresh quality and the more sensitive iris floral quality. It is so unique and so easy to wear considering it has iris. Spoiler alert, I did have the new version of Dior Homme Sport, but that was one that got downsized because I just wore this instead of that. The new one is great too. It has blood orange, which is cool, I suppose, but it doesn't have as much of that iris, even though the overall vibe is quite similar. So what I'm trying to say is if you like iris, then you have to get this one. And I do like iris, but don't feel bad if you have the new one because it's good too, guys. Just not good enough to stay in my collection. Sorry. The next Dior Homme fragrance to survive the downsize is Dior Homme Eau for Men. The Macy's exclusive, Prada L'Homme's worst enemy. And it has become, oh my goodness. I interpret this one as a more purist take on iris because it doesn't have as many of the other kind of chocolatey fun notes from the original Dior Homme. This is just kind of straight up fresh iris. And I seem to wear this a ton when it's mild outside, when it's just kind of blah and I want to elevate myself, elevate my feelings. I'll reach for this. It's also a great rainy day fragrance. And I feel that sounds really ridiculous to categorize a fragrance and put it into such a tight little box, but when you have 4 different fragrances that all have similar themes and features, you're gonna wear them for certain occasions. Being so close to Prada L'Homme, this is also a great office fragrance. It's a great indoor fragrance in general with air conditioning because when you're in an air-conditioned environment, it sort of simulates being outside in a mild environment. The temperature doesn't need to be too high. If the temperature is a bit higher, then maybe I'll go Dior Homme Sport. But for everything else, This is kind of my dumb reach Dior Homme fragrance. We've talked about 3 Dior Homme fragrances that have survived the downsize. We have 1 more to go, which means it could either be Dior Homme Cologne, Dior Homme Intense, or Dior Homme. Place your bets, which one is it? Oh my God, I can't wait to tell you. Subscribe if you haven't, and like the video if you like me. The final Frag, the last Dior Homme fragrance that has survived the downsize. RIP to all the others. I decided to hold on to this one because it's special to me. The Parfum is a fellow Armenian. I mean, I'm a quarter Armenian, but it still counts. By Francis Kurkdjian, the guy who now runs Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Yes, him. It's the original Dior Homme Cologne. Ooh, plot twist, huh? So the silver collar, beigey liquid Dior Homme Cologne. Very, very different than the current Dior Homme Cologne, which I sold. Sorry about it. The reason I loved this one and the reason I sold the rest is because the silver collar version, it ends up smelling like an even more wearable version of Dior Homme, the very first one, which sort of killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I didn't really need to wear Dior Homme anymore because I could wear this and I could just throw it on and not feel like it'd be too much in any circumstances because of its softer projection. I didn't need the new Dior Homme Cologne because that one was just lemon. And if I wanted that, I already had a Dior Homme Sport Cologne, which we found out from the last episode. And then there's Dior Homme Intense, which I just didn't really wear very often. And when I could wear it, I just wanted to wear Dior Homme Parfum more. So RIP to all those fragrances. If I was just a teeny bit more unreasonable, I would still have all of them. But I was running out of space in my storage area for all my fragrances. And I slowly started to realize, why do I have all of these when I only need a couple of these? Realistically, I don't need any of them, but with my frag head mindset, these 4 are just fine. Let me know which Dior Homme fragrances you have, and if you agree with my downsize or you would have done it totally differently, bring it on, let me know, give me some feedback. I thrive off of it. I go into a little more detail on the Dior Homme fragrances here. It's a video I did before. Looks great. I'm not actually wearing that little tux in the actual video. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Bye.